Okay. Stream is up. Test. Okay. And then for Twitch. Awesome. Alrighty. Good. And now we got chat set up, so now I can see everything. Welcome back, everybody. Today we are working on more shit. Working on more rules. Just tinkering away. So I think the big thing right now is that I need to get weapons down. Weapons and armor, I need to... That's the big thing today. I gotta get it working. Even if I only end up with like 4 weapons by the end of this, or 6 weapons, or 2 weapons, okay? It needs to happen. So that's what we're doing. And then I think I'm curious to see how this turns out, but once we get that done, then it's just making feats. We're making feats and we're setting up the scenario. That's gonna be the rest of it. I don't, yeah. I don't know. I kind of want to make like 1 or 2 other races, so it'll be part of the feat building. But we guys got to get the weapons and armor done and the balancing there. I've been watching a lot of different people do like testing medieval weapon against ballistic gel. And okay. Here's my general Here's the general vibe I got, okay? Armor is ultra important. If you don't have armor on, you're gonna get fucked up, okay? So, the first thing is, like, armor is, like, the difference between, like, losing, like, even soft armor. Like, there was a guy I watched who put, like, a modern, like, ballistic, like, a Kevlar jacket, just, like, a small one, not even, like, a thick one, just, like, just throw on, like, a bulletproof little vest. And then he tried to like slice at it, and it was insane how effective it was. How many the layers at stopping like blades. So like the slightest bit of armor can do wonders for survivability. Um, so I think that's one thing, and then I think that another thing is uh, like I would say percussive, but it's not percussive. What word am I looking for? That's like drums and those types of instruments. Concussive, like blunt weapons, uh, are horrifying. At or like are let me. I need to be more technical. Are really good at ignoring armor. Like armor still does things to stop it a little bit, but like you want to not care about armor, you swing a big fuck off blunt object and you bash them to death. Like even through armor, you'll break bones, you'll crack skulls. Like it's a horrifying bit of information. Um, I think the other thing is that despite the fact it does drop mobility in some way, um, but not as much as you think. Um, so that was kind of interesting. Um, so I want to have, I think for balancing sake, I'm gonna make it cut some mobility in some way and stuff like that. But I think its biggest cut is gonna be, I think I might just not reduce the stats as much, but make it just cost more stamina to lug around with it all day. Uh, um, let's see. Armor is ultra important. Blunt weapons are really good at ignoring armor. Just lower mobility. Uh, I think those are like the big things that I've taken away. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that like is like super stands out. There's like little small shit like metal armor is super good against basically like everything. um like your best bet is just take a blunt weapon and start trying to dent it so that it's fucking like locks up on them because it like dents in such a way it's harder to move. Like that's like your you do that and then maybe you'll break through at some point, or like you get a really good, if there's like a gap then you can get like a good knife swing maybe, um or blade swing, but that's about it. So um what do I want to do here? So I don't know. Basically, I'm trying to figure out what exactly is the how exactly do I balance the weapons? How exactly do I do it? And I think for what I want to do, I think so. Blunt weapons like hammers and maces um, are very good at targeting, are very good at breaking the point that they breaking the location they target. Um, not good at overall damage. Like if you shatter an arm, it's gonna fucking hurt, and that arm's useless until you fix it. But like nothing, you're not though. It doesn't like there's not really much bleeding. It's not gonna transfer over much. It's just gonna really fucking hurt. But if you like crack their skull open or like break under the rib cage, okay, it's gonna fuck you up. And so it's all about trying to get those body and head shots, which I feel like is gonna be a pretty consistent trend. I don't expect the limbs to be targeted too much, except by specific weapons or specific scenarios. Um, I think so. Then next is um, swords. Swords are given a lot of tools, and they're gonna be relatively defensively trained, um, because they have so much ability to block with the um, block with the because of the how the dex works. Um, so I like I'm blanking. Sorry, this is a late night stream. Okay, I'm gonna be in and out of it. I just need to get stuff done. Yeah. So swords, I think they're gonna be have a lot of toolkit. I think they're gonna be very defensive. But I think they're going to be very weak against armor. I think swords are going to rely on getting in those critical stabs and finding like weak points or like um basically like doing things like fucking slitting wrists and stuff to like make them unable to use their weapon and then finish them off. Um then knives are entirely built around weak points. If they can hit the weak point well enough, they will get a knife stab in and it will fuck you up. That's their whole bit. Can I slip the blade in between your ribs? No range. Not good at blocking. A purely offensive weapon that you cannot use really for defense. Axes, uh, very good against soft armor. Maybe when blunted, good against hard armor, question mark. Normally bad against hard. High damage. So that's kind of their bit. So less tools, very good damage, very good against soft armor. And then finally, like pikes, spears, etc. Good range, obviously. Good pen. Decent against hard armor. Bad at close range. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Oh. Oh, I need to specify. I just thought of this. You should only be able to. So when you're moving, you're supposed to be able to react to any step of the move. But I'm realizing I should change it. So I need to make a note that you can only react. Can only react once per action. So that way, if you do react to some point of the move, you can't react to a later point in the move. Give me 1 second. I gotta blow my nose. Shit. I need to take some mad spirit back. Give me 1 second. Okay. 1 second, guys. Okay. Alright. Sorry. Let's refocus. So. Yeah, I think that's kind of what the role I want each to do. But here's the weird balancing. Without armor, all of these weapons should be horrifying to get hit with. Like, really fucking horrifying. Um, so I'm trying to figure out uh how to balance this. Um, I think it's really just gonna come down to armor. Like, if I slice you with a sword, it's gonna fuck you up. Like it just will. But then if you have like some armor on you, suddenly the sword does significantly less damage. Um, I was trying to represent that by making it roll poorly with strength, where like you would roll at a tier lower. But I think that's not going to be good enough. I think I'm going to have to add things that do that. Um, I could add like sharp versus blunt to indicate what armor it's good at, maybe. But I kind of want to condense it down into just the damage type. Um, sorry. Okay, so I think I like the idea of swords. Okay, so I like the idea of having a bleed, which is just lose X of blood per turn here. Okay, that's all bleed does. Bleed is supposed to be a fucking kill attack. Like, if you get bled and it's a little too high, you could die in like 5 rounds. Like, it is a horrific fucking attack, like damage value. Um, because I'm only gonna give. I think I decided I'm gonna give them like 20 blood for like a human body. So, if you get bleed 3, bleed 4, bleed 5, like I expect you to die relatively soon. Um, and then so I think that's one thing. Um, so then I think I named it Crater slash Crush or whatever. This is the blunt damage. This is supposed to be your like break bones damage basically, which destroys a location. Um, so like if you crater attack like an arm, you're gonna destroy that arm, but it's not necessarily going to like kill them. You're just gonna make that arm basically unusable. Um, and then I might add like a do bleed 1 or something if you break the arm, something to indicate that there's some crossbody damage. But I don't know if I really need to. Um, and then I think the idea behind cleave is like I am going to fucking like hack your limb off or like cut you in half. Like I'm going to like drop a massive blade and embed it in your chest. That was the idea behind cleave. But I don't know. And mostly it was to distinguish between like a sword's bleed attack and like an axe's bleed attack because the axe is supposed to do better about it. Um, but I'm not exactly sure how to resolve that. Um, like, is it just you roll high enough and the location gets like removed? Is that all it is? Um, Yeah, I'm not sure, because fuck. I don't know. I feel like it should do. Um, on one hand, you could just say, part of me wants to do this, and part of me hates this idea. I already have this like stacking layered armor system. Part of me just wants to make each hit location have an inherent armor, which is bones. And so if you roll beneath the size of the bones, then you pin through the bone and rip up whatever's underneath. Um, and then if you like blunt weapons just always smash the bone, and that's their point. But they still do the damage, so it still breaks the arm, so it still makes it disabled because it's an internal part of the system. And then like a sword could stab and do a bunch of bleed, but miss the bone, while like an axe could cleave in and break a few bones and do a bunch of bleed. Is my idea. But then I would make that would make the axe also have bleed. Um, I would just have to change how the other aspects of the weapon work to make it feel different than the sword. Um, which I could do, and I could just simplify the fuck out of the damage types of bleed, crush. Um, and then I kind of want to do a different one for. I kind of want to make a distinction between bleed and like gore, where bleed is like I chop into you and you are gushing blood, versus I like stab into your like liver or lungs or like intestine, and you're still bleeding, but you're like internally way more fucked up than just bleeding. Um, like something to imply the deepness of the cut. And I don't know what the solution for that is. I genuinely don't. um, because it would still do bleed. But it would do like better bleed. Um, maybe that's just how I incorporate the Oh, maybe that's what I do. Maybe I'll have like a keyword that's like um I don't know, we'll call it like pinpoint or something, or like pike or something, and it's like, oh, if you manage to slip past the bones of this location, then you, instead of doing bleed, you do gore. Ha ha ha. And it's like some upgraded bleed. That was another thing. I was thinking about doing stronger versions of the same damage type. So gore would be better bleed, and then have like, I don't know, decimate be better crater, or crater be better crush, or something like that, where you're just like pulverizing somebody's body as opposed to like breaking a particular section. Um, And I think if you do that, I think it would probably. And then similarly, I kind of want to. Because I have the hit location set up the way I do, I kind of want to have. I kind of want to add dismemberment. Because it would be. It should be relatively simple, and it'd be a really sick way to implement the on top of the system of just like. Hey, the axe just hit you for a fuck ton of damage. Lose your limb. Um. So yeah, maybe we'll do bleed, we'll do crush, we'll do gore, lose X of blood per turn, and what's the flip side of gore? Oh, I would specify. Um, but as many times per round as you want. Okay. Gore is gonna. Gore has to represent in some way, like stabbing through to the vitals. Um, lose X blood per turn, and I don't know. Gain some fatigue, maybe. Yeah, maybe that's what it does. Every time you hit a vital organ, you up the fatigue because it's like a shock to the system. I thought about making it so that every time you take damage, you also lose that much energy. Um, so if you get like stabbed in like the arm or something, you're not like it's not like you got fucking like shanked or something, but you're still gonna lose some energy. Um, or maybe I make that only on. Maybe I make it lose X blood per turn and gain X fatigue. Um, to any. That would be brutal. Oh fuck! I wanted to sneeze and now it's. Oh no! Fuck! I just ate a sneeze. Oh no! Okay, love that. Yeah, I think gore would be horrific if it also did that. And then crush is breaks bones, and then will help destroy location. Um, just the night crush is the most easiest. Just you broke that arm. Um, and then it needs to be So after crush, it might be like decimate. And it's gonna be like, I don't know. I don't want it to interact with blood. I feel like it should just do. I feel like bludgeoning are like the simplest weapons because it just do more damage. So maybe I don't know. When it hits really well, it just does more to the like pulverizes. You just fucking you hit harder forehead. I don't know. Um, and then axes. I feel like did I make a list of all what the damage types do? I feel like I did. If they didn't beat round, lose X blood. Lose the oh, this was if you did better. Lose the location. Inflict bleed X on each closest location, where X is that limb's max blood value. Yeah, that's right. I remember that. So like that was gonna be the the cutoff option. Break X. Actions using the location suffer minus X divided by 2 rounded up. Oh, they lost half X on the roll. Um and then more of the location is unusable. On inflict, reduce bleed from this location. That's right, burn also cauterized. And then it was the location is unusable. And then this is any overrun damage from this location inflicts poison on each location the new damage spreads to. That's right, because poison would spread around the body. Um, um, okay. Yeah, I think having a more extreme version of each damage, because in my head, I'm putting the damage on like a card, right? So you put, it's like a card that's like bleed, and then you put a die number on it, and that's what it does to that location. And so you just stack them on top of the location. So if I do that, and then I could just flip it over and be like, oh, on the backside is the ultra fucked up version, then that could be pretty fun to do. Um, but I also kind of want something to represent, like, maybe the backside is what it's like once it's treated. So you're like, you stop the bleeding, but the bleed, like, the damage is still, the cut's still there. So you'd still have to represent the damage, but now, like, the blood's reduced. Um, um, I'm trying to think. The backside having a as you heal it option, I think, is actually probably better. Or maybe it's oh, that's what I could do. I could do it Kamigawa style. I could do it like uh set colon Kamigawa. Yeah, something like this, where the top part is bleed and the bottom part is gore, and so you just flip it depending on which is more fucked up, and then the backside is once you heal it. That might be how I do it. Um, Lose X blood per turn here. Deal X damage to location. Lose X blood and gain X fatigue. Mm. Da, 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 da. Fuck, I should have done this earlier. Guys, last night was so fucked. I went to lay down around 2, so I'd get about 6 hours of sleep, and then I could not fall asleep till about 5:30. So I only got about 3 hours of sleep today. And then I came home and I fucking crashed for like 4 hours. So I am just so goddamn tired. But I don't want to like not do anything today because it's just another day it didn't work on it compared to when it's supposed to be ready by Sunday. Um uh fuck. I think I'm just actually too tired for this. Okay. I'm just gonna not speak for a second and think about this. Okay. So I don't think I need a new keyword for gore. I think bleed will just have a flip side that says um uh or it'll have like a trigger that says like if attacking a vital location and you get past the bone, flip it, and then you do the other side. Um and then for crush and like blunt weapons, I think it makes sense that their thing is like um if you hit I think that each weapon should do something bonus when it hits vital, and then the yeah, and then maybe having like, does each weapon specifically do something different when it, we have like a keyword that's like amputate, which is allows it to cut the limb off, or should that just be part of the, okay, we're gonna do a few things. I think the first thing is I am going to lose X blood per turn. Yes. Deal X damage to the location. Yes. Okay. Whenever you take bonus bleed, or whenever you take bleed damage into vitals, also, honestly, if you hit vitals, it should probably, should just be death. Maybe it's just on vital hit bleed that much extra. Because like realistically, if you slice into like a chest and you hit a lung, or you hit like critical organ, and or you hit like a heart, like if you hit a heart, obviously they're just fucking dead. But if you hit enough organs, you're just like, they're just gonna bleed out in a matter of seconds. Um. So yeah, I think I just double the bleed number. Um. If hit organ, double bleed. I think making it a universal rule that when you take damage, you also gain X fatigue. It does significantly increase the death spiral side of things, but it also makes it so that when you're fucking sitting there chugging like life potions, that you're not just full resetting the damage. Like, because the life potion doesn't actually fix the fatigue. Um, and that way we kind of balance heal items so that they're not fucking broken, where it's just, oh, I negated all the problems, ha 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 ha. They'll still be incredibly good because they'll stop you from dying. um uh oh, I'll probably do lose if hit, double bleed loss with it. This hit, double bleed loss with this hit, or double the damage. That's what I should say. Double the damage. Um, Um, I do like the idea of giving Crush an actual effect. Um, if he hit Vitals, double the damage. And I like the idea of having Crush's a double, or sorry, Crush's damage bonus be reduce the ability to use it. So reduce rolls, reduce skill rolls with this location by. I'll just say rolls. Fuck it. Reduce rolls with this location by damage. That's gonna get really fucked really quickly, but I think it'll be good. And then Gore is lose X blood per turn. No, we just get rid of that. I think just having bleed and crush works for almost every weapon. For axes, I think what I'll do, I'm just gonna make them better at embedding, but still do bleed. Yeah. Maybe what I'll say is, how would you word this? Um, bleed, I think, and break. And then I do something for like losing the limb? Uh, if hit vitals, I think it should also be double the damage. So maybe I just make that a universal rule. If you hit vitals, you double the damage. If you hit in general, you apply that much fatigue, and then you do this. And then when maxing location, can't use. So if you do enough to hit the breakpoint or hit the max of that location, can't use it anymore. Limb is location's gone. Inflict that much bleed to closest vital. Yeah, I think that's what you do. Ugh. I don't know if. So I don't want to make amputation truly permanent. Uh, because it's just not as fun. But I like the idea of it for in combat, and I also don't know how strong. I think what I might do is I think I might scale health potions by their effects rather than how well they heal. So maybe, or maybe both. Like maybe a smaller health potion just like stops bleeding and fixes bone and like actually tries to negate these effects, while a while like a like a better health potion like restores limbs and it's like a crazy level fucking, maybe that's like your mid to high level potions are like, oh yeah, you can literally watch your limb regrow in front of you. um I think something like that could be really sick. um let's see, is there anything else? But yeah, if you smash at a location enough with your break weapon, then your fucking arms like a noodle, you know, like their bones are all fucking shattered and it's just flopping around. But then if you do it with like a bleed weapon, it fucking cuts it off. I think that's I think that's good enough. Um, so that way we give them still like, if you can get in an arm hit, like you can still inflict really good bleed. Um, okay. So with that in mind, let's look at our weapon traits. We have weight. Do we have a weight? We do not have a weight. Okay. First we have trace modifiers. Advanced. This weapon consists of an odd shape, unconventional attack vector, or requires careful management of its momentum to be used properly. Attacks that miss with this weapon hit the wielder at the wielder's choice of location or acts as the negative OSL. So I don't know if I want to do um I think I don't want to name this advanced. I think I want to name this dangerous. But I'm thinking for this is mostly on flails. Um where it's like, oh, you have a decent chance of hitting yourself if you're not trained in this weapon. I think I'm okay with that. Bash. This weapon doesn't have an edge or blade, such that it doesn't need to angle its attack to a specific direction. Attacks with this weapon roll strength instead of dexterity. No. So what we're gonna say here is, because they now all roll dex, we're gonna say, um, dexterity rolls with this weapon are done at -1 tier. This weapon contains some notches or angles that make it capable of grabbing enemy blades. When the wielder successfully clashes with this weapon, they can spend 2 stamina and roll an opposed dexterity check to disarm the attacker. Oh, maybe I add an aim quick action. Um, no, okay, hold on. We're gonna do a different keyword. Hidden was a keyword that says, um, Okay, we're gonna make a new keyword, and we're gonna name the new keyword subtle. And subtle actions are not declared. Or are declared as subtle. Something like that. So basically, like, if you do an action that is just, uh, you know, aiming or whatever, then, like, you don't have to tell them that you're aiming. You just say subtle. And then they have to fucking figure out the fuck that means. Focus, colon, enemy, combatant, cost, 1 concentration, trait, none. Oh, trait subtle. And we'll say mental. The next attack, or the full attack done this round, against the focused target. When locking in a full attack against this target, add or lock in aimed in addition. The full attack done this round against the focus target are in aimed attack against a target gets +1 tier to the dex roll. To the attack roll. Something like that. Okay. Catch. This weapon contains some notches or angles to make it capable of grabbing enemy blades. When the wielder successfully clashes with this weapon, did I keep that wording? I named it deflect. Okay. When successfully deflects with the weapon, they can spend 2 stamina and roll an opposed dexterity check to disarm the attacker. So instead of disarming, I think what I'm gonna say is, when the wielder rolls to block an attack, they add +1 to the block, or to the roll. Crush X. This weapon is designed to permanently dent, deform, and crumple plated armor. Attacks made with this weapon break strong armor by X. Break strong armor by X. Okay, so strong should be hard. And then hard versus soft should be the I think the difference is there. And then does it still break armor? I mean, I don't think I have an issue with this. But instead of it being X, it should be by half the damage. Well, no, because you're already gonna dent the armor when you hit it. I guess if oh fuck me, I just bumped the mic. I guess if I swing a mace into leather armor, I am never actually damaging said armor, right? Because I'm just hitting cloth. Like the mace is not ever gonna actually hurt that cloth. The important part is that it can still hurt the bone on the other side of the cloth, right? You can still do damage through it. So I guess if I make a crush keyword and the crush keyword just says, "Hey, this weapon can break hard armor," then I can just specify which ones can break what type of armor. Um Attacks me with this weapon, break hard armor by half the damage. Rounded up. I think I'm okay with that. This weapon, yeah, okay, we just did this one. I'm okay with dangerous. Fence. This weapon contains some type of long blade capable of deflecting a variety of weapons. This weapon gains +1 when they clash. I think that should just be catch for now, and then you don't have to necessarily be a fencing weapon to do this. Heavy. This weapon is heavy and cumbersome. Attacks with this weapon are telegraphed unless the wielder has Golden Grip with it. So Golden Grip was if you have double the strength of the requirement, then that's Golden Grip. It was just, and notice that like, hey, you're way outperforming the strength requirements of this weapon or of this thing, and so then, I think, oh, and telegraphed was you have to announce that you're attacking with it, right? For some reason, this action is painfully obvious. It requires more physical wind-up or effort than most. When locking in a telegraphed action, the character must publicly declare that they are attacking. Yeah, I think I like that. Pinpoint. This weapon hits precise point regardless of use. All attacks made with this weapon must be called shots. Okay, that's useless now. It's a useless keyword. Shank. Called shots with this weapon ignore armor. So that was to do the like weak point thing. We have a different system for them now. This weapon requires some use of some type of ammunition. I haven't done guns yet. I'm just gonna completely remove this. Split. This weapon is designed to split fabrics, leather, woods, and soft metals like chainmail. Attacks with this weapon treat soft armor at being at half value. So what this should say is attacks with this weapon damage soft armor equal to half the damage. Rounded up. Well, no, not necessarily. Like, if you have a really thick leather, like, brigandine on, and I stab you, it's gonna go through it. But also, like, it's not gonna completely destroy and, like, tatter the rest of the armor. So what this should probably say is just attacks me with this weapon, damage soft armor by 1. if the location is lost, lose break the armor. That's what we should say. Attacks with this weapon break hard armor by 1. If the location is lost in this attack by this weapon, I should specify by this weapon. Break the armor. No, wait, I think metal should mostly survive at least a little bit longer. We'll say break the armor, break armor by half its value. So yeah, that's what I think. Metal armor just survives longer. That makes sense to me. And I might have to change this to actually let's make this uniform by half its value, round it up. We'll see if I hate it or not. It might need to go up, but I think letting it have some survivability outside of the user is kind of a funny bit, so you can actually like, there might be a legitimate reason to scavenge through armor that you fought against. Sledge. This weapon consists of at least a compact head with destructive potential. Non-shield weapons cannot maintain neutral against this. Right. So maintaining neutral is something that I haven't talked about in a while. I haven't thought about how it works now. So the idea is that when you get engaged upon in melee, part of the situation is that you are constantly like poking at each other, and that when you do a full attack, what you're doing is you are essentially like making your big move, but you're always assumed to be like kind of fucking with each other, which is why people who are surrounded and focused on by an opponent are constantly getting reduced on their attacks, because they're like doing small deflects and like neutral maintaining positioning and shit like that. So not being able to maintain neutral, well, maintain neutral was also the keyword for blocking originally. I think I want to let them be able to block. Maybe just make it harder. I'm trying to figure out what would have Sledge. Sledge would be like your big fuck off dwarven weapons. But I feel like at that point you just make the strength really high, and then they block it, they still get fucked up. I haven't done Throne yet. I'm gonna mark it as orange. Oh, and I should probably also do that for single shot, just in case I forget. There. Tipped. Regardless of its weapon, the weapon has a sharp point, weapon, or implement at its tip or end, which is more lethal than the pieces connecting it to the handle. Attacks with this weapon gain +1 SL when the attack hits at maximum range of its reach. So, because I don't hate that. Like, a rapier at max edge, even if you're swinging, will still do more. So I think I'm okay with this. At maximum range. I'll just say maximum range. Da, 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 da. I kind of want to make it a keyword called cleave. And cleave says, this weapon, I don't know how to word it. When the wielder rolls to, when the wielder deals enough damage to, so basically the idea is I kind of want to make it like a multi, like if you do a swing attack with this weapon, then you can multi-hit. So if there's like multiple people in your range, um, when the wielder removes a location, they deal that much damage, or they may, it may gain, the location may gain, that location may gain, overrun, next close, or closest location. Following momentum. So if you hit the right arm, then you go torso, then you go left arm. And if you hit the left arm, then you go torso, then you go right arm. And then if, yeah. And then I'll add like a feat that's like, I'll make it around here. If you cleave with a weapon, and there is no limb, and there is no location in the direction you were, or no more locations in the direction you were swinging. And you have leftover damage, and you the location gains overrun. Location may gain. I'll say may, so it's optional, so that if like your ally is the next person here, overrun next closest location of closest combatant in direction. So basically you can cleave from left arm to torso to right arm to left arm or right arm of the next person. In the direction you were swinging. Something like that. It might be a little awkward to word, and it might be a little confusing, so we'll see, but I kind of like it so far. Let's remove this. When an action is at the reaction step, any relevant combatants may spend the cost of a legal reaction to interrupt the active combatant. All reactions have an additional cost equal to the amount of have an additional cost of 1 concentration per previous reaction this round. For example, if combatants already spent 4 stamina, or no, this is wrong. The way combatants who are surrounded or pushed outside the rules. reactions against actions that are at a faster speed than your speed roll cost 1 additional stamina. Then I'm gonna make sure that's in the just gonna paste this in here. Reaction type of action that is activated in response to a full action. All reactions have an inherent cost of 1 concentration for every previous reaction this round. Can only a combatant can only react once per action, but as many times per round as you can legally spend stamina as you can. Reactions against actions that are at a faster speed than your speed roll cost 1 additional stamina. Yeah, I think that's everything. So, if you're reacting to something that's way faster than, or that's faster than what you did, you gotta spend extra stamina. Yeah, I think that's I don't think. Do I need? I don't think I need this. I'm gonna add a. I'm gonna add a new keyword I need to actually implement called legal. A legal action is an action that meets all required prerequisites. A legal action must have must be able to be paid for, or legal actions cost must be able to be paid for. I didn't put cost. Good job. A legal action, an action is checked for legality upon declaration. Oh, hold on. In the weapons here, I need to specify for heavy. Oh no, it's for telegraphed. For some reason or other, when unlocking it, the character must declare. Instead of saying declare, I should word this differently, because declaration is whenever you state which action it is you're doing. I need to say must warn that they are attacking. Yeah, I think that's better. And then an action is checked for legality upon declaration. Not when chosen. If an action is deemed illegal, such that it fails one or more of this criteria, it is nullified. I should say always appears as if they succeeded, even if they failed the roll. Hidden actions are rolled without the knowledge of the DC or the opposing value. Next sentence. Unless critically failed, these rolls always appear. So they succeeded even if they failed the roll. For instance, player rolls a recall check that doesn't critically fail. Even if they failed, it would just be no, that doesn't make sense. Once critically failed, their rolls always appear as if they succeeded, even if they failed the roll. A character performing a hidden action is not told the success level of the roll. A failed hidden action is treated as if it passed, often, but all information gained from the action is false. To roll a hidden action, a non... How would I say this? When rolling a non-opposed hidden action, the DM will roll a die of the same value, and the result of this roll is treated as the one of, is treated as the minimum roll of the, is treated as the minimum of the character's roll. When a character rolls, there we go. For example, a character rolls a d6 to gain information, to recall, or to, no, what's one of these quick actions I can do? To gauge a enemy combatant's action. The DM secretly rolls a d6 and rolls a 4. 4 is now the minimum roll of this roll, while 3 is the maximum. So it just wraps. Basically, here's one of the things that I don't like, because Pathfinder has hidden rolls, and I think hidden rolls are great. The issue is, I don't like the fact that the player doesn't get to roll their hidden rolls because the DM has to roll it behind a screen. So I like the idea of, actually, I might change hidden to like learn, because I think all hidden rolls are learn rolls, or are rolls where you are learning information. Find, gauge, intuit, recall. Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna change hidden, I think, to learn. Control F, hidden. And then we're gonna do find and replace, learn. Okay, so we'll do replace, 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 replace. Mm, get rid of this. That's a useless sentence. This is also useless. Okay, 5 of 5. Physical. Okay, that's a learned action. That's a learned action. That's a learned action. That's a learned action. I don't need this here. That's useless now. Your roll is greater than or equal to the total rarity of all the tags of the subject. You are told whether you have the feat, have the aspect, or if the level of stat is greater, less than, or equal to your declared value. Okay. So now we've got rid of all these. I think it's a better name for that keyword. And now I think I can remove the yellow on this because that does everything that I wanted it to now. This way, the character in question is there ever a time when a DM will roll a non-opposed hidden check? And I feel like the answer is no. Okay, and I think I'm gonna italicize all examples because that seems to be a pretty standard thing in most RPGs. When a character rolls an opposed learn action, the opposing party will roll a die. Will roll their the relevant contesting skill or die roll. The initiating character declares their success level, and the opposing party will tell the truth if it beats. Do I do meet or beat or beat? Typically, I've been doing beat. So if it beats the roll, or lies if it loses. We'll see if it passes. Tell the truth if it passes, or lie if it doesn't. I think that's correct. Okay, and then oh, there's another bot. Lovely. Why does it do this to me? /ban lunatic. Okay. There we go. Note the fact that you can refocus. Okay. I think that is. Was there any other? How did I get here? I got here through telegraphed and subtle. Oh, that's right, because I decided to go back and add an aim. Yep. Is there any other subtle tags that I want to add? The issue is that on opposed rolls, Oh, that could be fun. On a subtle roll, if there's an opposed check, you just tell them to roll that relevant stat and you don't clarify what it is you're doing. That would actually be really fun. Subtle actions are declared as when a character. Uh, Subtle actions are ones in which it is unclear what the character is doing by any standard senses. Um, when a character is when a character would declare when a character declares a subtle action, the name of a subtle action, they instead declare what would you say? What's the wording that I want to use? What is the name of a subtle? I could just say subtle. They declare subtle instead. Yeah, let's fuck it. I like that. And then if a character would perform a subtle action with an opposed roll, the opposing party is told the check to roll. Oh fuck. There's no fuck. There's no way to do it. Because if you need like specific information as a consequence of it, fuck. I don't think there's a way to do it. I would love to do like subtle gauges, but the issue is that if you do a gauge, then like if you succeed, then you have to fuck. How do you do it? Okay, you're told the action group of the action is locked in. Note this only told you. Okay, that's correct. And then we go back to keywords. Yeah, I don't think you can do subtle opposed rolls because then they have to lie to you. um. So then the question is, do I even add subtle as a keyword? Is there any? No, subtle is a fine tag. You can add subtle to... Actually, I like the idea of subtle not being a state, a default trait, and you have to gain that. But, like, subtle reload could be fucking crazy. Like, if you missed it, that could be an insane, like, effect. Um... Energy, I think that's... When fatigue is applied, uh, uh, to a specific energy, fatigue is only only affects the energy type it's assigned to. If a character is told to add fatigue to their energy, they decide the where any/all of the energy goes. There we go. That way we can specify, like, if I say add 5 fatigue to energy, or add 5 energy fatigue versus 5 concentration fatigue, then you know, oh, I have to fucking decide where the fuck I put this. Focus is a token that's placed on the map to represent a character's subject of interest. Focus is the center point of a character's peripheral. Sorry, I had fucking this song stuck in my head. Okay. I think I like these weapon traits. So we have 2 that deal with armor, soft and hard. Great. I think I like that. Is there one that would deal with both? Honestly, if one dealt with both, I'd probably just add both tags to it and just move on. Oh, you know what I could do? I could add a well, first I need to actually add finesse. Let's add finesse real quick. This weapon consists of a shape or this weapon is either lighter, bottom heavy, or I'll say hilt heavy, or in some way reduces the effects of leverage. Strength rolls with this weapon are done at -1T. There. I need to reword bash. It's not bash. It should be like, it should be like top heavy, but there's also heavy. Weapon is heavy and cumbersome. It's slow that it's so slow that every single point. No, I probably shouldn't have this. This should be a feat on. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna name this cumbersome. This weapon is, this weapon can has some bizarre shape or weight distribution such that it is awkward to swing. That it is such that every swing is painfully obvious where it's landing. Something like that. Cumbersome would go here. And then we're gonna rechange bash to heavy. We're gonna put this down here. Change this to heavy. This weapon, due to its shape or weight distribution, has most of its weight away from the wielder, and is and relies heavily on momentum to use. No, I should specify this. Due to its weight or shape or weight distribution, requires momentum to manipulate easily. To manipulate effectively. There we go. Next variables to the weapon are done -1. Yeah, something like that. Alright, and then we get rid of this, and then we have single shot, we got split, we got thrown, we've tipped. Okay. Is there anything else that I want to add? So we have 2 anti-armors, that's good. We got 1 for each. We have we've got our dex and our strength focused weapons. We have a fun AoE swing effect, which I think is good, and also makes
Cleave will be scary, okay? Cleave will. That's gonna be your great swords and your axes will have cleave, and that'll be. I feel like that's gonna be a really scary moment, but um, cumbersome. I like. I think it's a fun bit, and also I'm going to add feats. Part of the thing I think is going to give like heavier weapons feats that say like overswing and stuff like that that are explicitly there to be fucking eat like just slam down basically. Um, Actually, I don't even know if I'd make it only for heavy weapons. I might just make a feat that's like overswing, where you, uh, no, hold on. I'm gonna change it from cumbersome to like, um, obvious. Fuck. Cumbersome works. I could just say that it has the effects of cumbersome, and then just move on. Because I don't think would I give the overswing the ability to disable over like cumbersome with Golden Grip? I don't think the answer is yes, because I feel like part of the telegraphing is that it's like, oh haha, I'm going out of my way to do it this way. Um I should specify. Roll tiers. Some effects will modify the potency of a roll by increasing or decreasing the tier of the roll. Um, these effects look like plus or minus one tier. Such modifications uh, um, these effects cannot push the. Let me relook at this math. I honestly might just take out superiority and inferiority. The more I look at it, it's so disgustingly exponential compared to everything else. And it's already so flat. Like D1, you're rolling 1, obviously. D2, you're rolling 1 most of the time. Uh, D4, you're rolling 1.5. D6, you're rolling 2 on average. 2.5 on a D8. 3.5 on a D10. 3.5 on a D12. And 2 plus D10. Then 4.5 on 4.5 on 4 plus D8? Oh, that's right, because it cuts it in half. God, it's just so fucking. It's so exponentially just a problem. Wait, actually, what is the. Let me do the any dice real quick. What does this look like for, like. I'm gonna do dot dot dot, and then we're gonna do, like. 30 plus. Or 20 plus D8. I wanna see what the fuck the math looks like. Output 2d8 plus 40. Output d12 plus 12. What the fuck is the second one? Isn't the second one advantage? Oh no, it's half die roll plus the bonus. So if it's 20, it should be 24 plus d4. And then it's highest of 2d8 plus 20. And then it's d8 plus 20. That's the lowest one of 2d8 plus 20. And then it's d4 plus 10. And then it's the lowest one of d4 plus 10. Okay, so we get the average of this is 49, which is horrifying. Okay, then we get 26.5 and 25.81. Then we get 24.5 and 23.19. And then 12.5 and 11.88. Yeah, that's fucking crazy. A 20 plus d8 at impediment is 12.5. That's insane. What the fuck? That's your average. Your average is 12.5. Yeah, I don't think I need inferiority, because it's already so bad if you get impedimented. Yeah, God, I don't think... Okay, yeah, fuck this. We're gonna get rid of these two. How do I remove a row? Okay, so that's how you select the row. How do you remove the row? How do you delete? Fuck it, I'll just go here. Insert table 5 by 2. Or 2 by 5. There we go. And then we'll just copy and paste. Oh. Copy and nope, copy and paste. There we go. And then we'll get rid of this table. How does it work if I do... Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked, but it's important. How does it work if I do triple advantage? How does that specify? If I go highest one of 3d8 plus 20, what does that come out to? The average is 26.47. It's worse than enhancement. That's crazy. Okay, I'm glad. I think I was talking with this to a friend of mine yesterday, who is missing our first playtest session. I like having enhancement be half the value but you guarantee the bottom half of the roll, because when looking at distributions, standard is just an even flat for each one, right? You're just rolling a d4, 25% chance on each. Advantage looks like a bell curve where your odds are much closer to the middle, so it's a bit more consistent or a bit more inconsistent. And then with a bit of a shift. And then superiority and inferiority being so fucking negative. um I feel like it's gonna, I don't know, I feel like it should be, I'm glad that it's such an extreme difference. Um because it's flat again, but now because the value is so much higher, it changes the, your averages are just so much better. Um yeah. Multiple tier modifiers combine for a uh, complete value. Multiple tier modifiers combine are added together. So like if it's +2, -1 would be just +1. If multiple, if effects would cause the tier to go above 2, add would go above 2 or below -2, add or subtract by 1 per over or under the modifier, respectively. Add or subtract the result by 1 per tier over or under the limit, respectively. Yeah. We're gonna go to heading 1, I think. Control Shift E. Roll limits. No roll will ever result in a number no roll's value. No, hold on, I need to figure out a way what it is. No, fuck it, I'm not gonna say that. You get modifiers past 0 or past 100, I don't care. Okay, I think that's everything. For that. Alright. Done with the sidetrack. We go back to this. Okay. So. Time to do the real math. What time is it? It's 2:30. Fuck. I should probably go to bed. Or at least do something else for the night before I get ready for bed. Fuck, I meant to do the weapons tonight, but I keep getting sidetracked. I mean, I guess we did the traits. Was there any traits I wanted to add before I go to bed? Catch, cleave, crush, cumbersome, dangerous, finesse, heavy, single shot, split, prone, tipped. Okay, I know this isn't a big deal, but I kind of am worried how many of these keywords are in the first 8 letters. I kind of wonder if I should verbally split them up into more shit. I think I just am really liking the hard C, the cuss sound. I think that helps. I think it's a nice sound, and it for weapon traits, I feel like they're supposed to be kind of visceral. You want a weapon. You don't want a weapon that does bash. You want a weapon that does crush. Like it's a. So I feel like that's part of the issue. And then dangerous there's a nice emphasis there. Finesse I feel like is a fairly recognized keyword, so that works. And then heavy fits. If I could think of a better one, I might. I might make heavy cumbersome, actually. Funny enough. And then I'll make this obvious. Fuck it. What's a thesaurus? Oh no, here's the thesaurus. Ready to use a dog shit thesaurus website. Let's see. Telegraph. As in to mail. No. As in to reveal. There's other uses of the word telegraph. This is why I hate thesauruses. They only have one fucking definition. Because if I go to dictionary.com, telegraph. Yeah, there's an apparatus system or process for transmitting devices or signals to a distant place, especially by means of electronic device. Verb, to transmit or send a message by telegraph, to send a message to a person by telegraph. Informal, to divulge or indicate unwittingly as to an opponent or to an audience. Yes. How do I can I get the source of this, please? Is that possible? Other word forms. How about other words? Related words. Anticipate. No? How is the next closest word anticipate? Oh, they're alphabetical. Okay, thank God. Augur. Augur is like psychic, like foresight, right? Someone who foretells the future, reads omens. Yeah, that's okay. Calculate, conclude, determine, estimate, foresee, foretell, gauge, and portend. Portend is to signify or mean, to indicate in advance, to foreshadow, or foreshadow. That's what we're naming this. There, cool. Or maybe I make telegraph the weapon keyword, and then make foreshadow the actual trait. Actually, let's do that instead. So that way I can universalize the telegraph side or the foreshadow side of things, because telegraph is more fighting game coded. There we go, telegraph, and I'll name this to foreshadow. There we go. No, we're gonna say have foreshadow. That way we're not modifying a keyword. And then we're gonna change telegraph to foreshadow. Then we're gonna cut this. We're gonna paste this up here for shadow, so it's gonna be here. There we go. Okay. Was there any other traits that I wanted to add before I go to bed? So I kind of want to do something with maces because one of the things I've consistently come across is that bladed weapons, you have to care about the edge alignment where you're trying to line it up as clear as possible. Even for like strength based weapons like an axe, you still have to care about edge alignment. And so I'm wondering if I should add something that's like uh flat or no edged or something like that where like you don't care necessarily how hard you or like the direction you swing it. um uh okay. Okay. I'll have to think about it some more. I can't think of, yeah, maybe other than the edge alignment stuff, I can't think of another one that we would use. Um, okay. And I think that'll be, yeah, maybe something about edge alignment. I'll make a note at the bottom. Uh, feet for edge alignment? Question mark. Can I tag this shit as yellow? Can I like highlight the group? Hmm. I do need to clarify what the fuck the stats do. That's gonna be important. Okay, and then fuck it. We'll put a big headline at the top. Not implemented. And then we're just gonna copy that. We're gonna put that at the top of classes. Actually, I might delete classes, or I might move classes to the very, very bottom as a... Okay, wait, why is it not doing it? Hello? Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna move it to the bottom as just reference. Items. Move magic to the bottom as well. Okay. Yeah, I should probably go to bed soon, or at least go do something else. I'm losing it. Oh, thanks for hanging out, guys. I'm gonna be back tomorrow, hopefully sometime before midnight, and we're gonna keep working at it. Thanks for hanging out.